Coming up on Fulton Today, victims of crime are recognized for their strength and resilience.
Fulton's legal community recognizes the agencies and programs offering support and services for those who have been a victim of a crime. I'm Priscilla Ortega, and we'll have that story coming up.
And released inmates make the transition back into society with the help of a backpack. That and more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today, everyone. Fulton's legal community come together to support those who have been victims of crime. As a part of National Victims Crime Week, Fulton's Justice Partners pledge to give the victims all the support they need to help them to continue to heal. FGTV's Priscilla Ortega has the story.
Shania, as part of that healing process, several victims of crime gathered at the steps of the Fulton County Courthouse to share their stories of survival. Many of the victims say they enjoy gathering together, especially for events like Crime Victims Week, because it gives them some much-needed strength.
I am a Shaki, and I have first-hand experience of being a victim.
While dozens of residents somberly watched, one by one, crime victims bravely shared their stories of survival.
A month before my 17th birthday, I was finally free from the abuse of this man, and I can tell you that it was the best day of my life.
Organizers celebrated victims who survived, and with these empty shoes lining the courthouse steps, remember those who've been lost.
As we pay homage and honor to those who are no longer with us and those who are survivors and still surviving.
With sirens and footsteps, the Fulton County District Attorney, the Marshal, and Solicitor led a 1-mile walk through downtown Atlanta to raise awareness.
Unfortunately, the number of crime victims, the number continues to grow. We're all concerned about it. We really need the support to show strength and provide resiliency for crime victims, and that's what this is about today.
County staffers and community partners were also there to talk about services for victims, like the Victims Assistance Program. Victims are helped with court proceedings with an advocate who accompanies them to court and provides emotional support. Victims here say that emotional support and events like this give them the strength and resilience to go on. Since the event also raised awareness about victims who don't survive, the DA mentioned how there were 192 homicides in Fulton County last year. DA Howard compared that to King County in Washington State, who has twice the population of Fulton County, but yet only 86 homicides took place there. Reporting from downtown Atlanta, I'm Priscilla Ortega for FGTV.
The Fulton County Sheriff's Office welcomes a new commander with old ties to the community. Retired Atlanta Police Department Assistant Chief Sean Jones is now on the job as the commander of the Law Enforcement Division. The sheriff has given him the new title, Lieutenant Colonel.
Our reputation as a professional organization is respected by the Atlanta Police Department, and we have an outstanding working relationship with them. And we'll be able to keep that with Lieutenant Colonel Sean Jones here. And he started March 22nd. He's made a difference already. He's mentoring people over there, and he's a real plus for us.
Now, to acclimate quickly to his new position, Lieutenant Colonel Jones met with his new team at the roll call session and toured the units under his command. Those units include warrant service, special operations, and various investigative sections.
I'm just happy to be here with Fulton County. I have just finished meeting with a group of our people, and all of them seem to be excited and energetic about their roles and responsibilities. So I'm happy to be a part of the team, and hopefully we can work collectively to keep the county safe.
Sheriff Jackson feels Lieutenant Colonel Jones' presence will be felt by the employees and the citizens of Fulton County as well.
We're looking at 2 phases with him. First of all, the contacts. As a law enforcement agency, the Sheriff's Office needs to have contacts with state, federal, and local partners. And he brings that with him because he was part of our meetings when we met with the state, local, in federal agencies bi-monthly. And additionally, with 30 years experience with the Atlanta Police Department, he brings that with our young law enforcement deputies, because we've had major changes in our law enforcement division and we're lacking the experience of a Lieutenant Colonel Sean Jones. So he brings that. He can mentor, they respect him. He's only been here a couple of weeks and made a difference already.
Colonel Jones is a resident of Fulton County and has 3 decades of law enforcement experience. Meanwhile, inmates released from the county jail are given the resources needed to get back on their feet. The nonprofit organization Peer Projects has partnered with the Fulton County Jail to distribute backpacks to the men and women who have served their sentence and are leaving the facility.
And what we've done to these backpacks, we've put toiletries inside of them, t-shirts, subway cards, and we actually give them a resource kit for them for when they do get out, where they could have some type of sense of directions on which way to go.
The Peer Project's mission is to help ensure successful offender reentry into society, reduce recidivism, and help returning citizens to seek proper guidance. Now, the bags were filled with donated supplies like water bottles, resource numbers, t-shirts, socks, towels, and just a little food card, just to name a few. For former inmates, it is definitely a welcomed gesture.
And that's one thing, that's what I love to do, is give back to the inmates and give them a positive start. So this is a positive start, the first start as they are leaving the Fulton County Jail. We as a family, we're giving back and giving to our inmates.
For more information on the project, including how you can donate, you can log on to this website. Well, this week marks the beginning of new leadership as voters decide on some important key races. FGTV's Felicia Church explains.
After not securing 50% of the votes, a runoff election in the city of South Fulton determined the city's first ever mayor and a city council representative for each of the city's 7 districts. Also, a runoff election determined the Post 4 City Council seat in the city of Roswell. In the city of Johns Creek special election, Chris Coughlin and John Flores seek the City Council Post 4 seat. On a larger scale, voters determine a representative in the 6th Congressional District and a state senator from the 32nd District. Be sure to stay tuned to FGTV for the latest election updates. You can also see election results for Fulton County by visiting FultonElections.com or visit the Secretary of State's website. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Felicia Church.
Some Fulton County job seekers are feeling pretty high about their being pretty low. WorkSource Fulton held a hiring event at its North Fulton WorkSource site in hopes of filling positions for the Lowe's home improvement store.
I like the working with my hands, so they had this spot for like electrical and lighting. I did some electrician work in the past, so I figured that there was something that I could easily relate to, so I applied for that.
The home improvement store was looking for employees for their Roswell Road store in Sandy Springs. They were looking for seasonal employees to work 10 to 39 hours per week in different departments, both weekday and weekend shifts.
Our biggest thing we're looking for is somebody with a good heart and someone that can smile and greet the customers and get them the information that they need. A lot of people don't like to drive to Sandy Springs. I don't know why. It's a beautiful area. I know the traffic is bad and our store is right along Roswell Road, so it's kind of hard to get applicants right now. So I'm hoping this partnership will bring us more people.
WorkSource Fulton, formerly the Fulton County Office of Workforce Development, serves adult dislocated workers and youth throughout Fulton County. The help is everything from resume writing to interviewing skills. And still to come, the district dialogues are back. We'll take you there in our district by district coverage next. Fulton residents voiced their concerns and ideas about county programs and services, and one commissioner addresses parents about the future of their children. Here's this week's District by District coverage. We begin with Chairman John Eves, who served as keynote speaker for this year's Parents Luncheon at Mays High School. The at-large commissioner joined school administrators, parents, and students for the event planned during the school's Parent Appreciation Day.
I'm here talking about parents, parental involvement. My daughter is a student here, and so I think Mays High School is a wonderful asset in our community.
So I'm trying to open up a lot of doors for parents and get them to see and be more firsthand as to what's going on here at Mays High School.
They are our #1 support system, and they, just allow us to get the steps we need at home and so that we can further our education.
The school principal and parent liaison organized the luncheon. Benjamin E. Mays High School is named in honor of Dr. Benjamin E. Mays. Dr. Mays was president of the Atlanta Board of Education and Morehouse College. Chairman Eves is a Morehouse alum. Meanwhile, Chairman John Eves and Commissioner Liz Houseman will assess the progress of the commuting options they proposed for Fulton employees and jurors during a press conference a few weeks ago. The commissioners were joined by the Fulton Superior Court Chief Judge as well as Fulton County's manager and chief operating officer for the announcement. Now, solutions offered by the county executives include a 2-month 100% subsidy of MARTA or Greta cars for employees who currently use transit services and want to use the transit services. They've identified flex space for employees to potentially work from home or other Fulton County facilities. They're approving flex time for county employees to start work as early as 6 a.m. and as late as 10 a.m. They also are providing Fulton jurors with MARTA passes.
We've got about 10% of our workforce today that use transit on a regular basis, subsidized about 40%. We're going to more than double that. So we hope that a large percentage of our employees will try transit, like it, and then build that into their normal routine.
Transportation was a problem before the bridge collapse, so it's even more acute today and for the next few months. I think basically people need to take advantage of public transportation, whether that's MARTA or Greta, and then try and be flexible in their work days or perhaps telecommute.
Fulton officials want citizens to utilize more of the county's online services and satellite offices so that they don't have to come downtown to conduct their business. District 5 Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. kicks off his series of town hall style meetings for the year. The 2017 District Dialogue session began at the Southeast Library. Residents were able to speak to the district commissioner one-on-one and get their questions asked about a myriad of topics.
We were blessed to have our participants from Lifeline, participants from Invest Atlanta, participants from City of Atlanta, T-SPLOST, and even the municipal clerk from the City of Atlanta.
I generally attend all of Commissioner Arrington's district dialogues in our area so that I can find out what information my other communities are looking for and to learn stuff. I learn something new every time I come.
There are a number of district dialogues meeting coming up all quarter long. Like the first meeting, the discussion will begin at 6 p.m. You can get more information about the locations and the times on the District 5 website. And finally, in District 6, young people get a taste of what summer camp is like at Fulton Parks and Arts venues. That's because many of them took part in the spring break camp offerings. At the South Fulton Arts Center, the kids participated in a number of activities, including dialogue sessions. At Welcome Park, the gym stayed active with kids playing basketball and other fun events. Now, the idea is to keep the youth actively and physically engaged for several hours during the time away from school.
Spring break is an opportunity, it's just like summer. It's just a shorter time frame. But it allows our young people to take a break and just grow in other areas outside of school. And I think if the community provides more opportunities, wow, look at the future that we will have.
Now, these are the same types of programs scheduled for the summer camp series. You can check out the county's website to get details. And still to come, health officials hope to eliminate food deserts. We'll explain when we come back. Fulton residents looking to get a copy of a birth or death certificate now have a new place to go right here in the Government Center. FGTV's Lynn Vaughn shows you where.
County and health leaders celebrate the grand opening of the Vital Records Office with a festive ribbon-cutting ceremony.
Never before have we had this kind of facility with state-of-the-art technology, digitized. I believe we'll be the only county that's fully digitized by the time we're finished. So we are really making great progress.
The new location at Fulton County Government Center downtown Atlanta offers a more spacious waiting room that accommodates more than 50 people. There are now 4 welcoming cashier stations and new technology.
We are so happy to have the new touchscreen kiosk in our waiting room. It's going to allow customers to electronically enter their information into the system, which should decrease our wait time tremendously.
The office not only prints out birth and death certificates for Fulton County, but from any county in the state.
We now also have a funeral directors area where funeral directors and their personnel can come in and register death certificates if needed. And they are able to reach the designated personnel to come out in the system as well, so they would not have to wait in the waiting room.
The Vital Records office at the Aldrich Health Center was shut down on March 30th to facilitate the move to the new space in the 141 Pryor building. And soon the entire Aldrich Health Center will be closing and reopening in its new location at 10 Park Place downtown. Now, you can still receive Vital Records services online. Just go to vitalcheck.com. That's vitalchek.com. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Lynn Vaughn.
Thank you very much. Well, next month, the campaign begins against the West Nile and Zika viruses. That's because the Environmental Health Division staffers and contractors are scheduled to start mosquito spraying all across the county. Crews will focus on areas where children and seniors gather.
With the Environmental Health Division, we have 17 years of experience with our contractor. So certain areas have been designated as hot spots that have a history of having more mosquitoes than others. So most likely it'll be designated places in Fulton County, which are Fulton County senior citizens centers, parks that have small children. Both are highly susceptible populations.
Environmental health employees will also conduct site assessments if a resident is concerned about a particular area. This year, 12,000 mosquito basins will be placed around the county. The bugs caught will be checked to determine the various types of mosquitoes and which ones are more prevalent. And health officials remind residents to tip and toss stagnant water and flower pots or other objects around the home. West Nile and Zika viruses are mosquito-borne infections with symptoms including fever, body aches, and rashes. Symptoms of Zika are typically mild, but the disease is especially dangerous for pregnant women because it can cause birth defects. So how does a neighborhood get better access to healthy food? Well, that was the discussion for one Fulton community. The county's Department of Arts and Culture and Cooperative Extension Services partnered to host the Navigating Food Deserts panel discussion. Food deserts is the term used for communities whose mainstream grocery stores are more than a mile away in urban areas or 10 miles away in rural areas.
Primarily, they're talking about people that also do not have access to cars, that might be using public transportation to get to the food.
Experts say teaching families about health and gardening can help alleviate some of the health challenges created in food desert communities.
We realize that in food deserts, those are areas where individuals are plagued with chronic diseases and have very limited access. And so when we can teach them to grow their food and how to use their food, we are helping them one family at a time, making Fulton County healthier and happier.
You can contact the Cooperative Extension Office for tips on gardening and nutrition. When Fulton Today returns, some middle schoolers experience the day in the life of being reporters. Stay with us. Fulton staffers are encouraging parents and kids to either walk or ride their bikes to school. During the Georgia Safe Routes to School Palooza, organizers discuss ways to create more walkable communities. Employees with the Partnership to Improve Community Health, or the PITCH program, helped sponsor the event at the Morehouse School of Medicine. Now, PITCH employees say when kids walk to school, that helps to create a healthier community.
It's important for kids to walk and or bike to school because it increases their likelihood that they're going to be more physically active throughout the day, which of course we know is one of the PITCH goals, is to increase opportunities for physical activity.
Representatives with Safe Routes to School say the benefits of walking expand beyond health.
The program was actually started to decrease childhood obesity, but it has taken off from there because we do have a refocus and getting communities together and being able to walk places and being able to bicycle places, because that feeling of community was lost just with the insurgence of cars and the drive everywhere.
To learn more about this initiative, go to saferoutesga.org. And finally, FGTV gets the chance to turn some middle school students into TV professionals. As a part of the Hateville Charter Middle School Career Day, FGTV photographer Daryl Peak and I had a show and tell presentation with some 6th and 7th graders. After sharing with the students about the television industry and the importance of them learning their reading, writing, social studies, and history, we then gave them a chance to be in the business.
I-85 northbound, it caused the firefighters and police officers.
The students used the recent I-85 fire and bridge collapse to create their own news stories as the news director, producers, reporters, and photographers.
We wanted them to be exposed to different careers. So we wanted them to know that whatever talent or skill you have, it's something out there for you.
About a dozen professionals took part in the career day. A number of the students told us that after our visit, they too now want to be journalists. And our jobs are definitely in jeopardy. Well, before we go, our reminder that we'd like to connect with you online. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.